think I would have done it differently if I remembered that connection to R2D2, but I'm gonna give a presentation about our nonprofit organization. It's a 501c3 nonprofit organization. It was chartered in February of 2020, a month before they shut the whole world down for the pandemic. So, do I have the right remote here?
Well, you might have to use the arrow on your laptop.
Oh, okay, no problem. There we go. So, the whole idea behind this, and I created this program while I was working for the US EPA in Atlanta in 2013. The whole idea behind the program was this. When you're small and don't have the resources, how do you go after the big grants when you don't have the technical assistance you need to go after it, and you don't have the money to pay for people to come and do that? So for example, and you may not have this problem, but there are cities that have issues with their sewage system, and they need to fix that. How do you ask for a grant when you don't know what's wrong, how much it's gonna cost to fix it? Can it be fixed, or do you need to replace it? If you need to replace it, how much is that gonna cost? And if you can't afford to pay for the help to come and help you figure that out, then you really can't apply for it. So what happens is, and I got nothing against big cities, but the Atlantas and the Savannahs, they end up getting that money because they've either got the technical assistance or they can afford to pay for it. In places like Reidsville and Sparks, and I mentioned Sparks because they're a letter from the mayor in the back of the presentation, they don't have the opportunity to go after it because they don't have the technical help. That's not American, that's not fair, okay? That's my personal opinion. So I said, we have to find a way to provide this assistance to people that meets a couple caveats. First and foremost, we gotta make sure that the cities never have to pay for the help. Because if you can afford to pay for it, you already have it. Number two, we gotta make sure that whatever we do, it's gotta be based on what the city asks for. It'll never be a situation where we would come to you and say, this is what we have to offer you. The question is, what do you need? And how can we help you? And it should always be based on that. Nobody knows Reidsville like you know Reidsville. So who am I to come and tell you what I'm gonna give you? That's not right. You should be telling me what help you need. That's the way we work. So that was the idea behind creating a program. I started in the idea came up in 2011, and the way I wanted to do it, the way we could do it, where we could provide pro bono help, was to get seniors and graduate students from colleges and universities to provide that technical assistance. I have said for years they were the biggest untapped pool of talent that existed, but nobody really took advantage of it the way that they should. So let's give them the opportunity to do these things as senior projects, as capstone projects, as practicum projects, to be able to provide that whole range of assistance that people need. So, great idea. I thought it was great. Took me a year and a half to get the first one to agree, but 8 years later, we had 73 colleges. We provided $41 million worth of help at the cost to the government for only $4 million. That's pretty effective. So, in 2020, when there was a change in the leadership at EPA said, okay, Mike, this is what we want you to tell communities we're going to give them. And I said, that's not philosophically the approach, because I created this, that's not the right approach to communities. So I said, with all due respect, you guys do you, I'm going to do me. I left and formed my nonprofit, and then a month later they shut the whole world down, and my wife's looking at me like, not really your best idea. So, you know, how are you gonna do it when you can't even travel? You can't even, the only place you can go is the mailbox. I said, But we persisted, and 4.5 years later, we've done over 100 projects. We've got projects from Alaska to Florida and all kind of places in between, and I'll talk about that. So how does it work? It's really simple. Communities tell us what they need, and we get them from a variety of places. Federal government gives them to us, state gives them to us, the regional commissions give them to us. communities see our website and they call us. We work with other organizations like the Anthracene Alliance. That was how we were originally introduced to Reidsville, through the Anthracene Alliance and Miss Jackie Jones, which I appreciate her initial outreach to us. That's why we're here, because we met her. So we get to communities and we ask the communities a very simple question: how can we help you? And communities say, well, Mike, this is what we need. Okay. And we figure out what school is the best one to provide it. The one good thing the pandemic taught us was, if you couldn't travel, then it didn't matter where the help came from, because it was all going to be remote anyway. So what we found then is we can get the best school that can help you to be able to give you the assistance you need. So it could be 1,000 miles away, but it doesn't matter, because they're still going to do the same exact work. So we come to you and say, you say, this is what we need. We find a school that can help with that need. We get a meeting with you and the school, and we say to the community, this is what your issue was. Yep. We say to the school, you can provide the assistance they're looking for. Yep. How long is it going to take? 1 semester, sometimes 2 semesters. We have one project, it took 2 years, but that's how long it took to get it done. They'll say, that's when we're going to finish it. Okay, that's fine. We establish a point of contact in the city, because they're going to need information. We establish a point of contact for the community at the school, because you're going to want to be able to talk to people. And we set up monthly meetings to make sure everything stays on track. And at the end of that process, the school has to make a formal presentation back to you in whatever format you want. It could be this format, it could be just the council, whomever the city wants. And they provide you the information that you asked for. Be it a design, be it a study, be it a impact assessment, be it a cost benefit analysis, be it an economic development plan, be it a health impact statement. Whatever you ask for, they provide that to you. And when that's done, we come back to you and say, please understand, we are not a one-time hitter. We are here next year, and the year after that, and the year after that, and the year after that. So we're different than most places. Most people come in, do something for you, great job, blah, blah, and they leave, that's it. You can call me 4 years from now. Hey, Mike, we could use help with X. Okay. And then we figure out how to provide that assistance. So it sounds too good to be true, but believe it when I tell you that there's lots of people, and we'll show you a couple of letters here. So what have we done? Cybersecurity analysis, economic development, broadband plans, redevelopment plans, digitizing water systems, design of sewage systems, brownfield redevelopment, zoning plans, building food gardens, design of boardwalks and river walks, analysis of lead and drinking water, which was interesting because when we looked at schools to try to figure out where the lead came from, in almost every case it was the drinking water fountains. So it turned out to be a really easy fix, but everybody was really nervous. Oh my God, we may have to replace all the pipes. That's really just a water fountain. Mental health issues and poor children recovering from natural disasters. That's something that we did in Florida as a result of Hurricane Michael. Designing resiliency plans. What are we doing now? We have alternative energy project for urban farm in Philadelphia. A new sewage system for the city of York, which will be up there next week to talk to them about their design and help them go after the funds they need to be able to do that. A system to address increased flooding due to climate change in rural Missouri. The development of a public health education for residents of Cancer Alley in Louisiana. Design of a state-of-the-art large-scale water bottling plant in the Bahamas. And the reason we're doing that is because they have an overabundance of water, but people want to destroy the cap over that water, and if they do that, as I try to tell people, you can get limestone in a whole lot of places, but the world's running out of fresh water. So we don't want to get rid of that. So what we did was, he said, okay, let's not worry about doing mining for economic development. Let's build a large-scale water bottling plant and use that good fresh water, because just think of how many cruise ships come to the Bahamas. So, and that's actually being done by Georgia Tech, and they're finishing that up. Cost-benefit analysis of creating a blue field in New York. We're doing projects all over the United States, Canada, Missouri, Louisiana, Alabama, Georgia, New York, New Jersey, California, the Bahamas. We're doing some work with some folks in Canada. We're doing work all over the country. And again, what does it cost you to participate in this program? Zero. Because the schools do it for free. The one thing that we require the schools to do is they gotta visit the community at least one time, and we'll pay for that travel. Because we want Reidsville to be real. We want them to come and meet you and go to the gas station, eat dinner, meet the city council, and see people as real people, not just some flat screen. So we think that's really, really important. We make sure that they get a chance to come and visit you. So couple of pictures. This was a project I actually teared up. There was a partner of mine at Florida International University teaching STEM education for poor kids in South Florida. He said, boy, it would be great to have a field trip. So we arranged with the National Park Service for them to come to Biscayne National Park, and you could tell when the kids came off the bus that they didn't have a whole lot of money, but these kids live in Florida. They're catching fish here. A lot of them never caught fish in their life. They've never been by water in their life. When they were sitting there educating them about certain things, there's 80 kids you could hear a pin drop. I don't know how many lives got changed with that, but that program is still going on. And this was a meeting with the Tribal Council in Alaska. This is a project. These are master's students from Georgia Tech who are designing that project. That's the president of the Tribal Council. And they're designing a cultural experience center that's not only be able to share their culture, but it's actually going to be an economic development plan for the village, which doesn't have anything because they lost their logging industry 2 years ago. So, and this was a meeting in coastal Louisiana with the Chipmunk Choctaw tribe. Hurricane Ida wiped out all their gathering spaces. They don't have any. And they don't have any emergency shelters. So we're designing with Purdue University a brand new, not only emergency shelter, but it's a gathering place. They'll serve to teach classes, they'll have emergency generators, beds, all the rest of that. And we were going through the preliminary designs, and this is the vice president and chief, this is his house. So we had dinner, and then we were going through the drawings at the end. So I included these, because this is really important to me, because this is what other people said, not me. So Fargo, Georgia was the last city I did as a government employee. I'd never heard of Fargo. Little bitty place near the Florida border. I'm sorry?
Clinch County.
Okay, that's right. So I gave them my card and I said, if you ever need anything, give me a call. So it's like 9 months later, and you know, the admin called, Ms. Johnson called, said, Mike, she said, we're going after this COVID grant, but we don't know how to fill out the application. I said, okay, I think I know somebody that can help you with that. So I found a person, they helped them put that together, they put it in, and they actually got it. She sent this to me, and she says, we're still ironing out the kinks, but thanks to you, we already have been able to rescue one small business, recreate a connection between people and government, encourage participation among people in our community, the churches, and the volunteer organization is handling administration. As an added bonus, we're seeing increased confidence in local government from the community, which can only bring good things. I thought that was pretty cool. I didn't ask her to send that, she sent it to me. And she called me, I was literally like, I was at the house. And she was like, you said I could call you anytime. I'm like, yeah, okay, what's up? And that's what we were able to do for her. This was the city of Sparta. Drexel University in Philadelphia came back and did a design, because their sewage plant was in really bad shape. And the question was, can it be fixed or does it need to be replaced? So they came in and did a repair program and did a design for a brand new one, so they had both. And they said they covered everything that's needed to rehabilitate, refurbish our water system. Much needs to be done to get our system up to date. Our supervisor retired. I hired 2 experienced employees. They've taken the presentation and already worked following the recommendations. We'll be able to fund 30% of the needed work. Other major improvements will require federal and state funding. We are busy preparing funding applications to request help with those needs, which they can do now. because now they know what they need to get done and they know how much it's gonna cost. So, we've been doing this, I've been doing this now for, it'll be 11 years in March. We've done, since the very beginning, about 340 projects all over the country. You are able to ask for that help because you're small, you don't have all the resources like the Atlantas or Savannahs. And if we can assist you, all you have to do is call. You'll have my cards, you'll have my numbers, and we're here to be able to help any small community in the country. Like I said, this is about giving you a chance to compete just like everybody else. You may get the funds and you may not, but at least you can step into the batter's box just like everybody else and take your swings. You might strike out, you might hit a home run, but wouldn't you like to be able to compete on an equal level? That's what we try to do. So, sorry I took more than 10 minutes, Mayor, I apologize for that. So I have cards if people are interested, and you certainly welcome to take my cards. Mayor and the council, we're here to assist. It's really, I mean, it's just about calling and saying, hey, Mike, we could use help with X, you know, and then we'll figure out how we can put that together for you. So, thank you, Mayor and council, for the opportunity to present. Thank you for everyone being patient enough to listen to me ramble on. So, yes, sir.
Yeah, my question is, what's the end game? What are we looking for in reference to working with you guys?
Your end game is whatever help you need.
Right.
So,
now, do y'all work, because we went to city development in Valdosta. So are y'all just part of that?
It's something different, but similar in the services offered. What he's saying is pretty much like you said that you were looking for a design.
Uh-huh. Okay.
yeah, see, the reason we set this up like we did is that sometimes money is flowing and sometimes money is out. We don't need money. You don't need money from us. Our help comes pro bono.
Mm-hmm.
So you never have to worry how to pay for it. And on the flip side, if we do a project for you and you have to do an in-kind contribution to get federal funding, we can give you the value of the work we did for you, and you can submit that as an in-kind contribution. We did that for the city of Selma for some work that was done for the Independence Bridge. They submitted that in kind, that met the Corps of Engineers 20%, and they actually were able to get the work done. So not only does it not cost you, but we can give you the in kind. We can figure, because we have a formula to figure it out for you. So, yes, ma'am.
I believe I saw Reidsville on one of the slides, in reference to investigation of high death rates due to cancer. Was that Reidsville, Georgia? Is that what that said?
Yes.
So who are you partnering with on that?
Well,
project?
that project was being done with Georgia State's Master School of Public Health.
Okay.
We have been doing projects with them now for about 3 years. In fact, the students gave us an award last year for being their #1 partner to work with, which I was shocked. I mean, they got big hospitals they work with, little bitty us, you know, but it was very cool. And the students love doing this stuff. In fact, they just finished a project in Cleveland, Ohio. Somebody wanted to put on a health clinic in a poor neighborhood, and 3 students volunteered to do it, and the lady said, well, I don't really know how to do it, and we were going through it, and you know, we were on Zoom, and I told the students, well, you guys will have to figure out what you're gonna do. They said, oh, no. We've been texting back and forth when we were on the phone. They found the funders, they created the menu, they found people to contribute the food, they found the place to have the meeting, got somebody to sponsor it, got the speakers, made sure the speakers got there, we flew them up there, they registered everybody. Huge success, and the bonus for us was the Cleveland Clinic was so impressed that we're going up to meet with them sometime next month, because now the Cleveland Clinic, which is kind of like world famous, they actually want to partner with us, so it's pretty cool. So that's just an example of the stuff that the students can do. Somebody else had a question? Yes,
I was
sir.
just gonna ask, so you talked a lot about, bringing the students in to, developing the plans and everything. when it comes to actually getting the grant proposals, do you have grant writers?
I'm glad you mentioned that. So, I have on my staff now a pro bono grant writer, which is there to support. I also have people that have done formal grant writing that are actually providing classes for people to teach them how to write grants. And once we get that class done, I should have capacity from other people to help write those grants. So it's something we couldn't do before that I always wanted to do, but sometime halfway through the year, we should be able to help.
It seems like that next logical step.
Well, absolutely, but finding people to provide the technical assistance, you couldn't get to the grant until you got that piece, so we had to do that first. But now that, 3.5 years later, almost 4 with the nonprofit, that's firmly established, that's the piece we're working on. I'm hoping by summer, we'll have the assets to be able to help with that, so. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am.
So this is just not for cities, it could be for other projects?
Oh, yeah, no, our only caveat, ma'am, is they have to be people in need, and that's it. So it could be a poor community in a big city. It could be a, small rural city, in a rural part of the country. And that's our only caveat. We don't look at anything else. We don't look at black, white, Hispanic, Asian, indigenous, Democrat, Republican, I could care less. So, as long as you need help, because to me, I'm a veteran. When I serve, thank you. When I serve to protect the whole United States. So when we do this work, we serve the whole United States, regardless of all other factors. So.
Right, but it could be like, what, developing a park? Or
We've done that.
walking trail?
We've done that.
So most anything that there would be a need for.
Yes, ma'am. It would be easier to tell you what we haven't done than to tell you what we have. And I'm not exaggerating. In 300 plus projects, walking trails, brownfields, you saw all the list of stuff we've done, and that's not everything we've done.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
But in doing that, someone would have to step up to the plate to make sure that when there's a need, to show the need, to gather that data.
Well, of course, we'll need help getting the information.
Okay.
That's why I said you needed a point of contact with the city. Like, when we did that work for Sparks, we needed to be able to talk to them about, tell me what system you have now, what kind of shape it's in. If you're out of compliance, let us know. We don't worry about the compliance because we're not a federal agency. We're not gonna, oh my God, we don't do that, okay? Our job is to try to help. So we need that point of contact to get information, but other than that, she has a question.
Yeah.
Hey, I got a question.
Yes,
She
sir.
said, since I live in the city, and you said trails, you asked about walking trails, do y'all help out with sidewalks and curb?
As part of a streetscape, because it has to be a big enough project for them to work on during the course of the semester. So if you said sidewalks, that's fine, but if you said cityscape, so it'd be sidewalks and beautification, that type of stuff, that would be a big enough project that we could give to them to be able to do. So because, understand, these kids are doing this for grades. They've got an incentive to do a good job because they're getting graded on this. So they're gonna wanna do a good job anyway. But it's gotta have enough meat in it for them to be able to work on it the entire
Yeah,
semester.
it's got enough meat in it.
Yeah, you see you understand what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
it definitely goes, you come get one or two.
Thank you again, Mayor, City Council, and residents of Reidsville. Thank you for having me. I'll leave my cards here with the city clerk. And please, with the mayor's permission, I'll send a presentation and whomever wants it, I mean, we don't do top secret, I left that when I left the government, so.
I like to have one.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.